Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on Forza Horizon 4. We're back at Fortune Island, building another car to climb the Needle Pass as quickly as possible. Our vehicle of choice today is the Mini. The classic Mini Cooper is going to have a shot. It's an interesting prospect. It's going to be, of course, incredibly light. The car is tiny. It probably won't be immensely powerful, and it is front-wheel drive, which, while not the worst thing, we're building a car to A-Class, it may not be the ideal driveline for this. I suspect it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be unbeatable, but I do think the Mini is going to be very fast. Now, the rules for this series. I've got to keep the standard engine if it can get to the top of A-Class, which it should, maybe. I don't actually know with this. We are going to, of course, have the Mini on some race tyres. Grip is the most important factor, pretty much. You can forget all others when climbing this hill. Grip is going to be so very important indeed. So we're going to want race tyres. And we're going to have more than enough PI to play around with. We are going to, as much as I'd love to have like proper classic rally parts on the car, we are, as I said, wanting grip and lightness. We definitely want lightness. Do I want, when they're aero they add 2 PI, but no, I don't want aero improving mud flaps. 2 PI is a surprisingly large amount for this. Right, let's get some brakes on the car. Of course, we're going to be building everything with race suspension. We're not dealing with any dirt at all in this, so it will be on the full race suspension. And this particular vehicle, we should probably be able to get every part we want on the car. And I am going to want it to be as light as possible. The real concern, I say the real concern, is what are we going to see in terms of power out of the standard engine. Now, of course, we can swap the engine. We have got a few options in here. I will try and use the standard one. If that doesn't work, we have a 2-litre inline 4, or we do have the turbo rally engine as an option, although that's probably a bit too high on the PI. But we are going to try and make the standard engine work. We're probably going to want a turbocharger, some description. We're going to have a turbo mad Mini. Ooh, probably, actually thinking about it, want to do... peculiar, we're probably going to want to do gearbox. I don't know what the standard gear ratios are going to be like in the car. Probably not amazing. It's not designed for... I actually don't know how much power the standard engine is going to get out of this. Not a huge amount, but doesn't need a huge amount to up the PI considerably here. There we go. Yeah. So we're up into A-Class with 186 horsepower. Now this is, I mean, kind of likely. This is what we're going to see from quite a lot of the cars. We aren't going to see, certainly a car this sort of light, we aren't going to see masses and masses of power out of the vehicle. Do we go, 10 horsepower? That seems like a lot of weight. That seems like a lot of weight for 10 horsepower. We will go with that. We will go with a flywheel on there, and we'll go have a look at things like clutch and so on. Clutch will drop us. Yeah, I don't think I want the intercooler for all of that weight, to be honest. It seems like, yeah, seems like it's quite a lot of weight for not much in the way of speed. And I think we are just about done. I think we've got everything that we can get on the vehicle, pretty much. We are down below 1,300 pounds, which makes the Mini, yeah, that's absurdly light. Power-wise, we are at 270 horsepower. It's not actually all that far away from like the RX-8 and half the weight. So, I think this might be quite fast. I think it is safe to say the Mini might be pretty bloody fast. So, here we are on the start line of our rally stage, ready to take on the... So, here we are at the bottom of the hill. I'm going to have 3 attempts to climb up the Needle Pass in an attempt to beat the time set by an RX-8. We've got a 128.1 to try and beat here. The Mini, I mean, it's going to be fast in some places. There is potential that, well, the tiny front tyres might struggle with everything we are asking the car to do. I think it's going to be light enough and kind of low enough powered to get away with it. Fingers crossed and everything, it should just about get away with it. That's the hope, at least here. Oh, we're going to not quite make that one work. Get a bit of understeer. So yeah, it's going to kind of be the second gear acceleration zones where we might get some understeer. The car might be tempted to, or might be trying to pull itself wide. It certainly does feel pretty, I mean, as you would expect, the little Mini feels pretty agile. It's on race tyres. Much bigger than normal race tyres, not the biggest tyres, it's only 205s, but much bigger than normal race tyres. And there is just a lot less car to move about on the way up this hill. Brakes, pretty good as you would expect. Again, we've not got too much weight to get slowed down here. Couple more corners to go. I think it's looking pretty good for the Mini on its first run here. A little bit of that front-wheel drive oversteer there as we get through the corner. Nothing too bad. It's certainly not too twitchy or anything up here. One more turn to go for the Mini. It is not going to be enough to beat the RX-8 mind on this first attempt. It's decent. It's decent as we cross the line into 131. Is it 31.1? We beat the M4. Couple is actually 3 seconds down on the RX-8. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised by that. We've got 2 more chances though to go faster. I will be honest, I was expecting perhaps a little bit more speed from the Mini on that first run. I'm not sure where we're going to find the time really up this course. It was always, you know, the slight concern that all that power through the front wheels, we might struggle a little bit with understeer, we might struggle a little bit trying to get out of some of these corners, but it is not that bad to drive at all up here, and I was expecting a little bit more speed. It might have just been a slightly duff run from the car. That is, you know, always possible. So I'm going to have to see if we can get any more time out of the vehicle up here. That was a little bit of wiggling going on. Yeah, like here, for example. Trying to get on the power mid-corner. It just wants to drag the car wide. And in the RX-8 did not have quite the same problems, so to speak. There we go. Just try and thread it through. There's a couple of these corners that you really want to kind of chain together. You really want to string them together in the way. Here I want to, for example, get that, well, pretty much that exit. Really, you kind of take a very wide. It's always like you're completely missing the corner because you want to turn it almost as late as possible there and get the exit, if you like. And that worked out well. Isn't this one here is a bit of a nasty corner as well. I've got to be careful not to end up out on the gravel, which we almost do with a little bit of front-wheel drive wheel spin there. We got a couple more hairpins to go for the Mini. I'm not sure this is actually a better run, to be honest, with the car. We get a lot of noises, a lot of turbo noise as well, actually, from this car as we head around the final corner. It's going to be the run to the finish line for it. We are faster this time around. Pretty consistent. One thing we have been seeing, actually, pretty consistent run times for the vehicles. We're down to a 130.5. We've got a bit more time off of it. Can we go sub 130? It looks like the RX-8 is well out of sight, though. Well, this is the final run for our Mini. This is the last chance the car has got to be going any faster. Half a second is what we're looking for. I mean, ideally we'd like a lot more. Half a second, I think, is what we might realistically be able to gain. There are a couple of places I was perhaps a little wide out of the corners, and that little bit too much understeer got the better of me. If we can manage all of that nicely, then we might be able to find the time that I want. Yeah, it's not quite as fast up here as I was expecting it to be. I think there are some difficulties, a little bit difficulties with front-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive, I think, is still very plausible in terms of going quickly up this mountain. I mean, this is only a couple of seconds down on the RX-8. And I suspect we'll see some CRXs go very quickly. Some of the Honda's front-wheel drive cars very quick up this hill. The Mini, I am surprised. It is very light. I wonder if we are just asking a little too much of the car, perhaps the tyres, perhaps. And it is, you know, true that the standard engine might not be the greatest for it. It does seem to be doing okay, but yeah, there may be better engines for A-Class that work with this. It's certainly a fun car to drive up this mountain. It's certainly a fun car to drive up here. I'm going to keep it in third through there, I think. maybe, or stop a little bit of wheel speed. I would have to change up almost immediately anyway if I didn't, so there we go. We are into the final couple of corners again. It's surprisingly quick when you're tackling it in these sort of grippy cars. You're racing up here into the final couple of corners now, try and get on that power. Got to wait a little bit as it understeers wide. It's not better. Very close, about within a tenth of that previous run. It was very, very close indeed. But we do not go faster on the last run. A little disappointed. I thought we were going a smidge faster in a couple of places there. Well, we probably were. A couple of corners we might have been slightly faster. A couple of corners perhaps slightly slower. Overall worked out pretty, yeah, pretty even, pretty similar. That is going to, well, I mean, that is going to be the Mini finished for its runs up that course. I'm perhaps a little bit surprised. The Mini will go into a second place. It does beat the BMW M4. I mean, this actually might put into perspective that M4. It was a bit of an odd car. Well, I say it's an odd car. It's being run completely stock, which is always going to be a disadvantage here. It's kind of part of the point of having a slightly different benchmark. It's only a couple of seconds down on the Mini. The RX-8 was a very fast first car, it would seem. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the other vehicles compare to these. The Mini is a fair bit down on that RX-8, and I wasn't quite expecting that. I did think the Mini was going to stand a good chance of going very, very quickly. As it is, I think perhaps, my best guess anyway, is the Mini is just not able to put its power down well enough. The front wheels just can't quite deal with the way this Mini is quite well enough, and that might be where it loses a little bit of time. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have cars you would like to see run up this mountain, please do leave them in the comment section. The most liked comment will be the vehicle that runs next time out, provided, of course, it can fit in A-Class and so on. We will see what weird and wonderful contraptions are tackling the mountain next time. That will be it for today, though. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.